Breaking news, things are heating up behind the scenes in Patriots Nation, and honestly, if you're not already fired up about this new roster, then maybe you haven't been paying close enough attention. Before we dive headfirst into this explosive breakdown, can I ask you a quick favor? Smash that like button if you believe, just like I do, that the Pats have what it takes to make it all the way to the next Super Bowl. This isn't hype, this isn't wishful thinking, this is real belief. Seriously, I mean it. I believe in this team. This new version of the Patriots smells like a fresh start, a powerful reset, and a long overdue turnaround. And if you've been a Patriots fan for over 20 years, drop it in the comments along with "Go Pats, I believe." Now buckle up, because what you're about to hear just might change the way you see this Patriots season. Could this be the year everything changes? After seasons of frustration and underachievement, the New England Patriots may have just quietly built one of the most intriguing rosters in the NFL. But don't let the silence fool you. This isn't a rebuild. It's a reset, a bold reshaping of an identity under new leadership, shrewd signings, and maybe, just maybe, the quarterback who finally pulls this team out of the post-Brady wilderness. We've gone through every position, and what we're seeing is a Patriots team that looks tougher, faster, deeper, and more dangerous than they've looked in years. It all starts under center. Drake Maye is your QB1, and there's no ambiguity. There, he's the franchise. There's a conviction from the top down that this kid is going to be special, top 10 quarterback in T. He NFL special, and if the unthinkable happens and Maye goes down, the Patriots aren't leaving things to chance. Enter Josh Dobbs, a veteran with real starting experience and poise under pressure. He's not just a clipboard guy, he's been in the fire and kept teams afloat. Then there's Ben Waldridge, an undrafted long shot, but with an intriguing profile that could surprise in camp. This QB room isn't just upgraded, it's stabilized, and that alone signals a new direction. Now, to the backfield, a position that suddenly looks like a weapon again. Rhamondre Stevenson remains the punishing anchor. There's optimism he's moved past the fumble issues that plagued 2024. But here's where it gets spicy. The arrival of Tre'Von Henderson, who brings elite third down utility, pass-catching ability, and James White vibes. Seriously, if there's one name to keep an eye on this preseason, it's Henderson. The Patriots are copying a successful formula: speed and power in tandem, much like Detroit's Gibbs-Montgomery duo. And that brings us to a potential hidden gem, Lamb Larrison out of UC Davis. You've probably never heard of him, but the league sure has. 17 teams wanted him. The Patriots outbid them all with $175,000 in guaranteed money. A 5-year college career, nearly 3,600 yards rushing, 41 touchdowns, and over 1,600 receiving yards. This is a guy who's already been productive at a high level, and the Pats believe he can make this roster. Don't sleep on him. The wide receiver room, crowded, yes, but quietly full of potential. Stefon Diggs is the proven superstar. Pop Douglas continues to develop, but here's the wild card: Kyle Williams. This rookie has the tools to be something special, and he's already a favorite target in early workouts. The Patriots currently carry 9 receivers. There won't be room for all of them. Matt Collins, Kendrick Bourne, Keishan Boot, Jalen Polk. Decisions will be made, and not everyone is surviving final cuts. Bourne is a veteran presence, but don't forget Mike Vrabel is cleaning house. This roster is being remade in his vision, and nostalgia won't save anyone. Even promising second-year guys like Polk are in the hot seat, though his draft investment might buy him time. The offensive line, that was the Achilles heel of 2024, and the Patriots knew it. It was bad, very bad. So what did they do? Everything they could. Will Campbell, a first-round pick many thought might play guard, is slotted at left tackle. Garrett Bradbury replaces the retired David Andrews at center. Morgan Moses adds grit and veteran leadership at tackle. This isn't the Pats' job. It's a rebuild built to protect Drake Maye and give Stevenson room to run. You protect the quarterback, or you don't win. Period. And after watching Mac Jones crumble behind a collapsing pocket, the front office wasn't going to let history repeat itself. Tight end, surprisingly solid. Hunter Henry hauled in 66 receptions last year and clearly built chemistry with Maye. Rookie QBs love tight ends, it's a fact. And Maye is no different. Add Austin Hooper to the mix, and you've got over 110 receptions and 1,000 yards of production between your top 2 guys. Jaheim Bell adds depth, and even undrafted C.J. Driggers might fight his way onto the final roster. Henry may not be top 5 in the NFL, but top 8. That's a conversation worth having. Let's not forget, the success of this group hinges not just on blocking and catching but spacing. With Diggs outside and Williams in the slot, defenders can't afford to cheat in on Henry anymore. The middle of the field is his playground now. Let's flip to the other side of the ball, the side that Mike Vrabel lives for, defense. First up, the trenches. Milton Williams was paid like a star, and he needs to deliver like one. If Christian Barmore is healthy and he says he is, this duo could be dominant. But Barmore's blood clot scare is no joke. The team is cautiously optimistic, but nothing's guaranteed. Behind them, Kyrus Tonga is a capable depth piece. The Patriots' pass rush was abysmal in 2024, dead last in sacks. That's not just bad, that's unacceptable, and Vrabel made sure it won't happen again. Harold Landry, familiar with Vrabel's system, arrives after a strong season in Tennessee. Rookie Braden Swinson brings fresh legs and speed, and with a new defensive staff built for aggression, this unit is being molded to attack. Linebacker got a quiet but critical facelift too. Robert Spillane comes in as a savvy veteran. Christian Ellis stays on board after exceeding expectations. Jack Gibbons adds depth. None of these are headline names, but together, they could form a unit that's reliable, communicative, and tough, exactly what Vrabel wants from his second level. The secondary, this could be the crown jewel of the roster. Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis form what could become the league's best cornerback duo. Marcus Jones slides into the nickel role, and Mr. Irrelevant Kobe Minor, drafted dead last, is looking to follow in Brock Purdy's footsteps by cracking the roster. Add a potential free agent addition like Russell Douglas or Asante Samuel Jr. and yes, Gilmore's name is still floating around, and this could be the deepest group in the league. There's over $50 million in cap space. Don't be surprised if reinforcements are on the way. Safety, solid if not elite. Kyle Duggar remains the heart of the unit, despite a down 2024. Jabril Peppers brings energy and versatility as long as he stays off the suspension radar. And the signing of Marcus Epps, quietly one of the smartest moves of the offseason. A veteran who brings leadership and savvy coverage skills. Even special teams got a refresh. Rookie kicker Andres Borregales might not be a household name, but he's got a leg 56-yard range, perfect on extra points, and ice in his veins. And after Chad Rillen's infamous miss against Denver, the Patriots weren't going to settle. New long snapper Julian Ashby replaces Joe Cardona, marking another shift toward a younger, more efficient unit. And here it is, the bold prediction: the Patriots make the playoffs. 7th seed in the AFC. Why? Because the schedule is soft second. Easiest in the league. You've got home games against the Giants, Raiders, Titans. This is a chance to rack up wins and sneak into January football. And if that happens, Gillette Stadium will finally be alive again in the postseason. So here's what I want to know from you, Patriots Nation. What do you make of this roster overhaul? Are we looking at a true playoff team, or is this just another false dawn? Is Drake Maye the real deal? Can the defense bounce back under Vrabel's leadership? Let me know in the comments below. We're building something real here, and I want to hear what you think, because here's the thing: this isn't just about wins and losses anymore. This is about identity. For the first time in what feels like forever, the Patriots have a roster that looks like it belongs in 2025, not 2015. They're not trying to run it back with aging vets or retread coordinators. They're not desperately clinging to what used to work. This team is faster, younger, and most importantly, more purposefully built. There's a clear vision now, and you can see it at every level of the depth chart. Let's talk about Mike Vrabel. This is his imprint everywhere. This isn't just a coaching change, it's a culture reset. You feel it in the